Welcome back again. Today we're gonna, discuss the complete design process from beginning to the end. That how do we design a product? Which steps do we need to follow, and what are the main five steps that we follow while designing a website or a mobile app or any other digital experience product for the users. So any design process includes of five basic steps that we're gonna discuss. These include the empathize, the define part, the ideate part, the prototype part, and the test part. So empathize is basically considered understanding users. Define is that defining the users that we have discussed. Then ideate is basically brainstorming all the ideas that we have for our digital experiences. Prototype is basically bringing those ideas into reality using mockups, high fidelity mockups or low fidelity mockups. And then testing part is testing these digital products that we have created on Figma or any other tool with real users and getting their feedback and improving our prototype if there is chances of any. So in the upcoming lectures, we'll discuss each stage one by one in a little more. You can see again, I have removed my video just to make sure that you focus on the content and the messages I am trying to convey to you. So we'll start with the first phase, that is empathize phase. So basically in this phase, we are beginning from the scratch and we are basically trying to understand what the user wants, what basically his pain points are, or what he wants to use as a platform, what are his needs, what are his wants. So basically this involves understanding the user's needs, emotions and behaviors. So we'll use techniques like, user interface, surveys, observation, and many other getting research techniques to get insight into what users' pain points are and what are their motivations. So basically in this phase, we are trying to get a deep understanding of the target audience to inform our design process effectively, that what will be our approach to design and what will be the basic components or features or functionalities that we're going to use in our app. So next comes our define phase. So basically what all the information we have gathered in the empathize phase, what we have understood about the target audience and the users, we try to gather that information and create a specific use case and specific user personas, as we say in UI UX design. From that information, we identify the key issues and we clearly frame the problem that needs to be solved. So either you are trying to create a pizza delivery app or a courier delivery app or a social media platform. First, we have understood the users in the empathize phase, and then in the define phase, we will understand what basically in a concise and brief way user wants, and we can define that in a single or two-line statement. So basically, this definition will help us in focusing the design efforts on the most important aspects. So this phase basically involves creating user personas and many other things. So I'll just give you a glimpse of what user persona is. So basically user persona is describing the user. So for example, if I am creating a project management software, so there might be different users for that. There might be project managers, level 1 employees, level 2 employees. So basically we are trying to get to this statement, that what project managers are trying to do. They are the topmost user working with clients and sales team to fetch new projects. They need a platform where they can create new projects, align resources, and have a glance of all his or her ongoing projects along with other relevant information. So basically this statement allows us to define what we're gonna design and what components, what information we're gonna show on our platform or the digital experience we are designing. You have empathized with the user and you have defined the user. Next comes the ideate part, the ideate phase. So in this phase, what we are trying to do is that we just gather all the team, all the designers team around, and we start brainstorming ideas that how can the actual product look like. So we'll generate a wide range of potential solutions to the defined problem. We'll brainstorm ideas without judgment. So you can just expect and you can just say the worst to worst idea and the best to best idea without having a fear of any judgment. And this phase encourages creativity and often involves collaboration to come up with innovative concepts that can later be refined. So we are just drawing trying to draw a rough picture or a rough sketch as you would do on a paper to try to build and present that how the final product will look like. All the previous three steps, we move on to the most important and with the steps with the phase that you are all well aware of, the prototype phase. In this phase, basically, we are trying to do what the world sees. We are trying to create tangible prototypes that represent the proposed solutions. These prototypes can range from low fidelity to high fidelity mockups. And the major goal here is to quickly visualize and test the concept to gather feedback and validate whether the solutions are addressing the user needs effectively or not. So just to give you a glimpse of what these are, just like we have for the project manager, we have created these wireframes. These are nothing but just text and different shapes. So just trying to gather information and trying to visualize that yes, how the dashboard for the project manager will look like. It will have projects here, it will have approvals and requests, it will have a pie chart showing the resource utilization, and it will have a project timeline quadrant over here. So just basic shapes and basic text, no formatting, no designing, nothing. Just assembling or arranging different elements and items for the information that we want to visualize on the dashboard. These are basically wireframes, or you can say low fidelity mockups. Prototype also includes the high fidelity mockup. So when we go to the hi-fi mockups, we can see that we start with what hi-fi mockups are. So we have defined the font, we have defined the colors, we have defined the box shadow, the background colors, the icons, everything. So after defining the structure and all in wireframing part, we will move on to the color and icons and typography part. So basically, this part is just the UI component of a whole design process. So everyone would see that they start creating these things from the beginning. This is just a part of a phase of the complete design process, that is the prototype part. But the design process is itself is a complete 5-step process, and every designer needs to follow this step to create an effective and accessible solution for all the users they are trying to target. Previous 4 steps. The last step that comes is the testing phase or the feedback phase. So this is a go-to-market phase where we try our mock-ups and prototypes with real users, either internally with our families or friends, or externally with random strangers. So it involves gathering feedback on the prototypes from real users. They interact with our prototypes and they provide insight into the usability, the functionality, and overall experience of the app. So this step might help designers like us to identify any issues or areas of improvement that might not have been apparent during the ideation or prototyping stage. So iterative testing and refinement are crucial to achieving a user-centered design. So basically, what I was trying to say is that the design process is not just limited to these 5 steps. After the testing phase, we create a loop. So if there is any improvement or there is any feedback from the user that they don't like the color, they don't like the feature, or they want the buttons to move, or they want the icons to be moved or changed, we need to take this feedback, create insights from those feedbacks, and then go back to the prototype part, even to the ideate part, make some changes, and come back to the testing phase. So basically, we are creating a loop from step 3 to step 5, just to make sure that when we deliver our final product, it's basically without any errors and without any bugs, so the user can use it effectively and developers can create the final product without any much change.